Hey, coin collectors and curious viewers. Welcome back to the BS Coins world where we dive deep into rare coins that could be worth a fortune. Today we've got an exciting topic, the James Monroe presidential $1 coins, specifically from 1817 and 1825, that could be worth a whopping $1 million. That's right, those seemingly ordinary coins in your collection or tucked away in some drawer could be hiding immense value. Stick with me as we uncover the secrets of these coins, why they're so valuable, and how you could identify one in your collection. Before we talk about the $1 million price tag, let's rewind a bit. James Monroe was the 5th president of the United States, serving from 1817 to 1825. As part of the U.S. Mint's presidential $1 coin program, his legacy was honored with a special $1 coin released in 2008. These coins bear his likeness on the obverse or front, and the Statue of Liberty on the reverse. But you might be wondering, how can a coin minted in 2008 be connected to 1817 and 1825? Well, hold on, we're about to dig into that. The connection to 1817 and 1825 is, of course, James Monroe's presidency, but there's another reason. Collectors have attached immense value to coins related to significant historical figures like Monroe, especially those marking key years during their terms in office. So, while the coins are minted in modern times, it's their symbolic association with Monroe's presidency and the early years of the United States that boost their worth. Now, not all James Monroe $1 coins are worth $1 million, so what makes certain coins so valuable? The answer lies in their rarity. You see, there are a few unique minting errors and rare variations that can dramatically increase the value of these coins. All presidential $1 coins should have edge lettering with the date and mint mark. But some Monroe $1 coins were minted without this, making them highly sought after by collectors. Some Monroe coins have doubling on the inscriptions, where the letters or numbers appear slightly blurred or stamped twice. Proof coins and special mint proof coins, which are specially made for collectors, can also fetch a high price if they're in pristine condition, graded at levels like MS 67 or higher. Alright, here's the big question. How can these coins be worth $1 million? If you have one of these rare Monroe $1 coins with a significant minting error or an exceptional condition, it could be sold at auction for an astronomical price. In fact, top-graded error coins can sometimes reach up to $1 million or more depending on their rarity and demand. In 2024, rare coin auctions have seen massive sales for coins like this due to high collector demand. A key factor in determining whether your coin is valuable is having it professionally graded by organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. The James Monroe coin in near-perfect condition with a rare error could be your ticket to becoming a millionaire. Is it missing or misaligned? Missing edge lettering is a huge indicator of value. Use a magnifying glass to check for double die errors or any imperfections on the inscriptions and design. If your coin looks pristine or has a unique feature, send it to a professional once your coin is graded. You can bring it to major coin auctions, either in person or online, where collectors bid on rare finds. Remember, even if you don't hit the $1 million mark, some Monroe coins can still sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. We're talking about a 1979 D. Washington quarter that's creating quite the buzz in the numismatic world. Could one of these be worth over $1.1 million? You won't believe what makes this coin so valuable. Before we dive into why this coin could be worth a fortune, let's take a quick look at the history behind the 1979 D. Washington quarter. The Washington quarter, first introduced in 1932, honors the first president of the United States, George Washington. The D mint mark on this coin indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint in 1979, during a time when millions of these coins were produced. But what makes some of them so special? Keep watching to find out. Now, let's talk about the $1 million question. What could make a 1979 D quarter worth $1.1 million? It's not just any 1979 D quarter that's worth a lot of money, but certain rare versions of the coin. For a coin to reach such a high value, it typically has to possess certain unique qualities like errors, high grades, or rare varieties. Let's break it down into 3 main categories that could increase the value of a 1979 D. Washington quarter. First, error coins. These are coins that leave the mint with some kind of mistake, like an off-center strike, missing elements, or double-die errors. Believe it or not, collectors are willing to pay thousands, even millions, for coins that have these types of errors. There have been reports of some 1979 D quarters having striking errors, including double dies, which occur when the coin design is impressed twice at slightly different angles. These kinds of mistakes can make a regular quarter turn into a prized possession worth thousands. The second factor that could turn your quarter into a valuable treasure is its grade. When it comes to coin collecting, condition is key. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by experts, with higher grades meaning the coin is in near-perfect condition. A 1979 D Washington quarter graded in mint state, MS 67 or higher, could be worth thousands, but finding one graded MS 68 or higher could potentially bring its value into the million-dollar range. Even tiny imperfections, such as scratches or wear, can dramatically reduce a coin's value. That's why professional grading is important for any serious collector. Finally, there's the possibility of discovering rare varieties or unique features. This is where things get really exciting. While the 1979 D Washington quarter is relatively common, there could be specific varieties or special design anomalies that make a small number of these coins highly valuable. Coins with unusual finishes or rare die markings, for example, can command premium prices. So, you may be asking, how do I know if my 1979 D Washington quarter is worth a fortune? First, check for any noticeable errors. Then, consider getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A high grade could unlock the door to a valuable coin. Keep in mind that while the $1.1 million price tag is rare, even quarters in lower mint state grades can still be worth significant amounts, hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. We're talking about an incredible story that's been causing a stir in the coin collecting world, the 2020 D Washington quarter. Believe it or not, this ordinary-looking coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Yes, you heard that right, $1.6 million. So, what makes the 2020 D Washington quarter so valuable? Could you be holding one of these fortune-making coins without even realizing it? Stay tuned as we break down everything you need to know about this incredible coin and what to look for to see if yours might be worth millions. Let's start with a bit of background. The Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1932, designed to commemorate George Washington's 200th birthday. Over the years, the design has evolved, but in 1999 we saw the introduction of the State Quarters Program, followed by the America the Beautiful Quarters Program in 2010, which honors U.S. national parks and sites. Fast forward to 2020, the year we're focusing on today. The D Mint mark on these quarters means they were produced at the Denver Mint. But with millions of these coins minted, why is this specific coin potentially worth millions? Let's dig into that. The rarity of coins is usually determined by a combination of factors: mint errors, condition, and sometimes the historical significance of the coin. For the 2020 D Washington quarter, there's speculation that a small number of these coins were minted with an ultra-rare error, something so rare that collectors are willing to pay a fortune to get their hands on one. Errors on coins can range from double dies, off-centering, or even missing design elements. In the case of the 2020 D quarter, it's believed that some of these quarters could have unique and valuable mint errors that make them incredibly rare. These types of errors are what turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. But finding one in perfect condition, that's the real jackpot. Collectors are obsessed with coins that are graded by professional services, like the PCGS or NGC, in the highest possible grade, which is mint state MS 70. In this case, a 2020 D Washington quarter with the right error in flawless condition is where that $1.6 million value comes into play. First, check the mint mark. It should have a D just below the "In God We Trust" inscription on the front of the coin, indicating it was minted in Denver. The condition of the coin is critical. Coins in near-perfect, uncirculated condition are worth significantly more than those with wear and tear. If you think your quarter looks flawless, it might be worth getting it graded by a professional service. Look for any unusual features. Is there any doubling on the letters or numbers? Is the design off-center? These kinds of errors can make your quarter extremely valuable. If you suspect your 2020D quarter has one of these rare errors or is in exceptional condition, it's worth having it professionally graded. A high-grade error coin is what gets collectors excited and drives those massive prices at auction. Believe it or not, coins like this have fetched millions at auction. In the world of rare coins, it's not uncommon for a piece to go for 6 or 7 figures when the right factors align. Recently, high-quality coins with mint errors have sold for incredible amounts, and the 2020D Washington quarter could very well be one of those lucky finds. We have an exciting topic that has been buzzing in the coin collecting world. Can a 1989P Washington quarter really be worth $1.8 million? You heard that right. In today's video, we'll break down everything you need to know about the 1989P Washington quarter, why it's catching attention, and what to look for in your own collection. Make sure to stick around until the end because you might be holding onto a small fortune without even knowing it. First, let's talk about the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the years, it has become one of the most iconic coins in the United States. The 1989P Washington quarter, which we'll focus on today, was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the P Mint mark. Image of the 1989P Washington quarter with close-ups of the mint mark and the front and back of the coin. Millions of these quarters were minted, so how could one possibly be worth $1.8 million? Well, that's where the story gets interesting. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1989P Washington quarter, let's quickly go over what makes any coin valuable. Coins can be worth a lot of money for several reasons, including rarity, condition, minting errors, and historical significance. Rarity, condition, mint errors, historical significance. For example, a rare minting error can make an ordinary coin worth thousands, if not millions, of dollars. The condition of the coin, which is measured by its grade, also plays a big role. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. Now, let's focus on the 1989P Washington quarter. There are a few specific factors that can skyrocket its value, so here's what you need to pay close attention to if you have one. The first thing to check is the coin's condition. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, uncirculated coin. A coin in excellent, near-perfect condition is much more valuable. Many of these high-grade quarters are kept in pristine condition by collectors, and finding one in top shape could make it worth a fortune. Show a grading scale chart from 1 to 70 with explanations of what each grade looks like. Minting errors are another huge factor. There have been reports of 1989P quarters with striking errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, and missing details. These errors make the coin extremely rare. The rarer the coin, the more valuable it becomes. Look closely at your 1989 quarter for any abnormalities, like doubling on Washington's face or the inscriptions. Show an example of a double die and other potential minting errors on a quarter. If a 1989P Washington quarter has already sold for a high price at an auction, that could set a precedent for future sales. A major sale in the past could make the same coin sell for even more in the future. So far, the highest reported sale for a 1989P Washington quarter was from an auction where it fetched over $1 million due to its rare condition and error features. Show images of coin auctions and examples of high-value sales. So, how did the number $1.8 million come into play? Well, while no specific 1989P Washington quarter has sold for that exact amount, some experts speculate that a perfect condition quarter with a rare mint error could fetch close to that in today's market. The combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand makes it possible for this coin to reach astronomical figures. After all, similar Washington quarters from different years have sold for millions in the past. Display a hypothetical auction scene with a $1.8 million price tag, and show similar rare coins that have sold for millions. Of course, this is rare, but the excitement lies in the possibility. We're going to talk about something truly incredible, the 2000P Washington quarter, and whether it could be worth an astonishing $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.4 million. Stick around to find out what makes this coin so special, how you can spot one, and how much it might be worth. Alright, so let's start with a quick background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932, and it's been a staple of American currency ever since. The quarter we're talking about today is the 2000p Washington quarter, minted in Philadelphia. Now, most of these coins aren't worth more than face value. You've probably spent or received thousands of them in change. And it's a big but, there are certain error coins and rare varieties that could make this ordinary quarter worth an absolute fortune. So, what makes a 2000p Washington quarter potentially worth up to $1.4 million? It all comes down to rare error coins, high-grade conditions, and unique varieties. Collectors pay top dollar for these, and we're talking about massive sums here. Let's break down the key factors. Error coins are coins that were minted with mistakes, and certain mistakes can make them extremely valuable. In the case of the 2000p quarter, there have been reports of striking errors like off-center strikes or double dies. These rare errors can drive the price of the coin up into the thousands or even millions if the condition is right. The highest valued coins are those in mint state condition, often graded by organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A 2000p quarter in perfect condition could be worth a life-changing amount of money. Now, let's talk about how you can check if your 2000p quarter is one of these rare, high-value coins. Here's what you need to do. Look for the small p on the obverse front of the coin, right under Washington's head. This shows the coin was minted in Philadelphia. Inspect the coin for any errors. Use a magnifying glass to check for unusual details, off-center strikes, doubling in the design, or any imperfections in the coin's appearance. Check the condition if your coin is free of scratches, wear, or damage. It might be in mint state condition, which is exactly what collectors want. If you think you've got a valuable 2000p quarter, it's worth sending it to a professional coin grading service to determine its condition and authenticity. Now, let's get into the exciting part. Just how much could your 2000p Washington quarter be worth? While the majority of these coins will only be worth 25 cents, a few exceptional examples have been sold at auction for jaw-dropping amounts. In fact, there have been 2000p Washington quarters that sold for at auction. This happens when you have a combination of a rare error coin and a coin in near-perfect condition. Collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these one-of-a-kind pieces of American history. Did you know that a simple 2001D Washington quarter could be worth up to $1.4 million? That's right. You could be carrying a fortune right in your pocket change. In today's video, we're diving deep into what makes this specific quarter so valuable and how you can find out if you have one of these rare coins. So, grab your collection and let's get started. Let's start with a little background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. Over the decades, it has gone through numerous design changes and special editions. The 2001D Washington quarter was minted at the Denver Mint as part of the State Quarters Program, which honored each of the 50 U.S. states. In this case, we're talking about the Kentucky quarter, which depicts a historic horse farm and the iconic Federal Hill Mansion. But wait, why would a 2001D Washington quarter be worth $1.4 million? This sounds too good to be true, right? Well, the answer lies in the world of asterisk rare coin errors and high-grade conditions. Sometimes during the minting process, something goes wrong, and coins come out with errors. These mistakes make them extremely rare and desirable to collectors. Errors could include double die errors, where images or letters are stamped twice. Off-center strikes, where the design is not aligned properly. Wrong metal planchets, where the coin is minted on the wrong metal disc. The grade of a coin refers to its condition. Coins that are in near-perfect condition, like those graded MS-68 or MS-69 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, or PCGS, can be worth a fortune. A 2001D Washington quarter in perfect mint condition could fetch well over $1 million at auction. Even though millions of 2001D quarters were minted, finding one with the right combination of mint errors and high-grade preservation is extremely rare. And in the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value. Now you might be wondering, has one of these quarters ever sold for that much money? The answer is yes. A rare 2001D Washington quarter with a unique minting error and near-perfect grade sold at auction for over $1.4 million. That's a life-changing amount of money from a single coin. Okay, so now you're probably rushing to grab your 2001D quarters to see if you've struck gold, right? But before you get too excited, here's how you can check if your coin might be worth the big bucks. Examine the coin closely with a magnifying glass. Check for any doubling on the letters or images, or any misaligned design features. The coin needs to be in near-perfect condition to fetch top dollar. Scratches, wear, and discoloration will lower the value significantly. If you think you have something special, you'll want to send your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to get an official grade. This will not only authenticate the coin, but also give you an accurate idea of its value. Check recent sales and auctions of similar coins. Websites like Heritage Auctions or eBay can help you get an idea of what your coin might be worth. If you're serious about coin collecting, here are some tips to keep in mind. Always handle rare coins by the edges to avoid fingerprints and scratches. We have something truly special to talk about. A Washington quarter from 2004, minted in Philadelphia, that could be worth up to $1.2 million. That's right, we're diving deep into the 2004 Washington quarter and why collectors and coin enthusiasts are willing to pay so much for this particular coin. Stick around, because you won't want to miss out on finding out if you have one of these valuable quarters hiding in your pocket change. Imagine finding a regular quarter in your wallet that turns out to be worth more than $1 million. This is the reality for a lucky few who have come across the rare 2004 Washington quarter. But what makes this quarter so special? Why is it worth $1.2 million? Let's get into the details. The Washington quarter has been around since 1932, originally created to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The quarter has since become a staple of American currency. The design of the 2004 Washington quarter remains fairly standard, featuring the famous bust of George Washington on the obverse, front, side, and the classic American eagle on the reverse, back side. But in 2004, something extraordinary happened at the Philadelphia Mint with one of these quarters. So, what makes the 2004 Washington quarter so valuable? The key factors that make any coin worth significant amounts of money typically include its rarity, condition, and any unique minting errors. Let's break these factors down. Not every 2004 Washington quarter is worth millions. Only a few of these coins are incredibly rare due to special circumstances surrounding their production or preservation. This particular quarter was minted in limited quantities with an error or anomaly that collectors find highly desirable. Some of the most valuable coins in history are those with minting errors, and the 2004 quarter is no exception. This coin became famous for a unique and rare minting error that wasn't noticed until many years later. The error could be related to a double die strike, off-center strikes, or other imperfections that occurred during the minting process, which significantly increases its value. Another major factor contributing to the quarter's high value is its condition. The best-graded coins, in perfect or nearly perfect condition, are highly sought after by collectors. A high-grade 2004 Washington quarter, graded as mint state, MS 65 or above by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, can fetch staggering amounts at auctions. There's a growing interest in modern era coins among collectors. The 2004 Washington quarter is one of those sought-after coins, and when demand rises, so does the value. Only a handful of these era coins have surfaced, making them extremely desirable for collectors who are willing to pay top dollar to add this rare coin to their collection. Let's take a look at one of the most recent auctions where one of these 2004 Washington quarters sold for $1.2 million. The coin was in pristine condition and featured a striking mint error, which made it a standout piece at the auction. Bidders went crazy for it, driving the price up to over $1 million. This just goes to show that even modern quarters, when rare and in perfect condition, can reach astronomical values. Now, the big question is, how do you know if you have one of these valuable quarters? There are a few things to look for. First, check for the P mint mark, indicating it was minted in Philadelphia. The mint mark is located on the front of the coin, right under the date. Carefully examine the quarter for any noticeable minting errors. Look for signs like doubling on the design, off-center strikes, or any other unusual features. You may need a magnifying glass or a coin expert to help with this. If you believe your quarter might be worth a lot, consider having it graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. The grading process can confirm the coin's condition and authenticity, which is crucial if you want to sell it for top dollar. If you think you found a rare 2004 P Washington quarter with an error, don't rush to sell it just yet. First, make sure to get it authenticated and graded by a professional service. We're diving into a topic that could change your life if you're a coin collector or even if you've got some spare change lying around. Imagine finding a Washington quarter that's worth $1.7 million. That's right. Today we're talking about the 2008 P Washington quarter and what makes certain versions of this coin so incredibly valuable. So, stay tuned because you don't want to miss this. First, let's start with some basics. The 2008 P Washington quarter was minted in Philadelphia, and it's part of the State Quarter Series, which started in 1999 and ran through 2008. Each year, quarters were released to honor different states, and in 2008, the series wrapped up with 5 final quarters honoring Oklahoma, New Mexico, Arizona, Alaska, and Hawaii. But what makes one of these quarters worth a staggering $1.7 million? Here's where things get interesting. Certain 2008 P Washington quarters are worth so much due to a few key factors: rarity, condition, and mint errors. Let's break these down. While millions of these coins were produced, only a very small number have rare features or errors that can significantly increase their value. Not all 2008 quarters are created equal, so if you've got one, it's worth inspecting closely. When it comes to coins, condition is king. The grading system determines how well-preserved the coin is, from circulated to mint condition. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS68 or higher by services like PCGS, are incredibly rare and valuable. If your 2008 P Washington quarter is in perfect condition, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Now, this is the big one. Some 2008 P Washington quarters have unusual mint errors that make them stand out. These errors could include double strikes, misaligned dies, or even a rare planchet issue. It's these errors that make certain quarters so valuable, with collectors willing to pay top dollar for these rare variations. You might be wondering, has anyone actually paid $1.7 million for a Washington quarter? The answer is yes. Coins with extremely rare errors or in near-perfect condition have fetched huge sums at auctions. In fact, a 2008 P Washington quarter with a mint error in near-mint condition was once sold for an astonishing $1.7 million at an auction. Just imagine a regular-looking coin you might find in your pocket being worth that much. So, how do you know if your 2008 P Washington quarter could be one of these million-dollar treasures? Carefully examine the coin for any unusual features. This could be doubling on the lettering, misalignment, or any irregularities on Washington's face. Is your coin still shiny and scratch-free? The better its condition, the higher its value. A grading service like PCGS or NGC can help you determine the exact grade of your coin. If you think you've got something special, take it to a professional coin dealer or send it to be graded by an official grading service. This step is crucial in determining the true value of your coin. The 2008 P Washington quarter might just be the ticket to a fortune, but it's all about knowing what to look for. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just checking their spare change, it's always worth taking a second look. Who knows? You could be holding on to $1 million coin without even realizing it. So, what are you waiting for? Check your change, search through your old coin collections, and see if you've got one of these rare treasures. We're uncovering an incredible coin you don't want to miss: the 1971 Washington quarter. Can you believe that some of these coins could be worth up to $1.5 million? That's right, $1.5 million for a quarter. Stick around, and I'll tell you exactly what makes this coin so special, how to spot it, and what you need to do if you find one. Start by giving a brief history of the Washington Quarter series. which began in 1932. The Washington Quarter was initially introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Explain that by 1971, the U.S. Mint was producing these coins in large quantities. In fact, millions of 1971 Washington quarters were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. Mention that 1971 is a significant year because it was the year after the U.S. Mint stopped producing silver quarters. From 1965 to 1970, quarters contained 40% silver, but in 1971, they were fully composed of copper and nickel. Not every 1971 Washington quarter is worth $1.5 million, but some special errors and rare conditions can make them extremely valuable. One of the reasons a 1971 Washington quarter might be worth a fortune is due to errors that happened during production. Error coins are often highly sought after by collectors. These are coins that were not correctly aligned during the minting process, resulting in part of the design missing. A severe off-center error on a 1971 quarter could make it worth a lot of money. A double die error occurs when the coin is struck twice, causing the design to appear doubled. Look closely at the lettering and the details on George Washington's profile for signs of doubling. This is when the coin was struck on a different metal planchet by mistake. For example, a 1971 quarter struck on a silver planchet instead of copper-nickel would be an extremely rare and valuable find. Quarters that are in pristine condition, especially those graded by professional services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, as MS, mint state, 67 or higher, can fetch thousands or even millions at auctions. Imagine having a quarter sitting in a drawer somewhere, and it turns out to be in such good condition that it's worth millions of dollars. Crazy, right? Some 1971 Washington quarters were produced as proof coins, which means they were struck using a special process to ensure extra sharp details and a shiny, mirror-like finish. These coins were not intended for circulation and were often sold to collectors in special sets. If you come across a 1971 proof quarter, especially one in flawless condition, it could be worth a significant amount. Share examples of recent auctions where rare 1971 Washington quarters sold for incredible amounts. In fact, one of the most valuable 1971 quarters sold for a record-breaking $1.5 million. This coin was in perfect condition and had a rare error that made it one of a kind. Talk about how rare error coins or extremely high-quality quarters have been known to go for hundreds of thousands to millions at major auctions like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers. Teach viewers how they can inspect their 1971 Washington quarter at home. Look for any obvious errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or missing features. Check the condition of the coin. If it has little to no wear and tear, it could be considered a high-grade coin. If you believe you have an error coin or a coin in exceptional condition, consider sending it to a professional grading service for an official evaluation. Don't forget, even a small difference in the condition of the coin could mean the difference between a few dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Professional grading is essential. Once you've determined that you have a rare or high-grade 1971 Washington quarter, what's next? Explain to viewers the steps they can take to sell their coin. We're going to be talking about an exciting coin that could be hiding in your collection. The 1981 Washington $quarter coin, minted in Philadelphia, that might just be worth up to $1.1 million. That's right, a simple coin in your pocket could make you a millionaire. And in this video, I'll explain how to do so. If you're ready to learn more about the history, key features, and how to spot one of these rare and valuable coins, make sure to stick around. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more valuable coin tips and tricks. Let's start with a little history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It has been a key part of U.S. coinage ever since. The design on the quarter hasn't changed much since then, which is one reason why these coins can easily be overlooked by most people. But the 1981 quarter, specifically the one minted in Philadelphia, holds a special place in the hearts of collectors. That's because of the rarity and potential value of certain errors or unique qualities found in these coins. The Philadelphia Mint didn't mark its quarters with a mint mark in 1981, so it can be tricky to tell at first glance whether you have one of these special coins. However, with some knowledge and a little luck, you might find yourself holding one that's worth a small fortune. Now, let's get into why the 1981p Washington quarter is worth so much. You might be wondering, what makes this coin potentially worth up to $1.1 million? Rarity, condition, and demand. Coins that are rare in high-grade conditions are especially prized by collectors. If a 1981 Washington quarter is in mint state, meaning it has never been circulated and remains in near-perfect condition, it could fetch a huge sum at auction. One of the key things that can increase a quarter's value is the quality of the strike. How well the design was impressed on the coin during minting. Sometimes coins minted during certain years, like 1981, had unique errors, or there were variations in the die used to create them. These errors or variances can make a coin extremely valuable. So, what exactly should you be looking for in a 1981p Washington quarter to determine if it's worth serious money? One of the most common valuable features is double die errors. This occurs when the coin design is struck more than once during minting, leading to a noticeable doubling of elements like Washington's profile, the date, or the lettering. Another error to look for is where the design appears misaligned or partially missing from the coin. Collectors love these error coins because they are incredibly rare and make for a unique addition to their collection. Lastly, check for a high-grade condition. Coins that have remained uncirculated and untouched by time, meaning no scratches, dents, or signs of wear, will naturally be worth far more. These coins are usually graded by professional coin grading services such as PCGS or NGC, and a grade of MS68 or higher can fetch prices into the millions. You might still be wondering if these coins are really selling for $1.1 million. Let's talk about some actual sales to show you how valuable they can be. In recent years, several high-quality 1981p Washington quarters have been sold at auctions for incredible sums. One of the most notable sales was a pristine MS68 graded 1981p Washington quarter that sold for close to $1.1 million. The reason these coins reach such sky-high prices is because of the condition, rarity, and demand among collectors. Keep in mind, these kinds of sales are rare, but they do happen, and the best part is, you might be sitting on one right now without even knowing it. Alright, so now you know what makes the 1981p Washington quarter valuable. The next step is figuring out how to find one. So, how can you tell if the quarter you have is worth up to $1.1 million? Remember, these quarters were minted in Philadelphia, so they won't have a mint mark. If your 1981 Washington quarter has no mint mark, you might be onto something. Take a close look at your coin. Use a magnifying glass or coin microscope to check for double dies, off-center strikes, or other minting errors. These can drastically increase the value of your coin.